Hey guys, Huzzy here, bringing you another video. So welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a Q&A video as the second video of the day, and the basic reason for it is I'm not feeling great at the moment, as in ill. I was actually throwing up yesterday in between the commentaries, so that wasn't great. But this is my day off. I'm specifically taking today off, and obviously I'm still recording, but basically I've got a bunch of commentaries spare, but just in case I get a little bit worse or I just kind of feel about the same, maybe I'll take tomorrow off as well. So I just want to make sure the commentaries that I have spare at the moment can last until I kind of feel better. So hopefully that, hopefully you guys are okay with that. And Q&As, I enjoy doing them. You guys who watch them seem to enjoy them. And also, it gives me something to do in bed. So if you've got any questions, put them in the comment section and I can answer more if it's something that didn't come up in this video. But yeah. Two announcements just really quick before we begin the Q&A. First one is I hope you guys have noticed recently in content that I actually believe it's getting better. I'm having a lot of fun now. We are climbing again, which I think is a contributing factor to that. But, I actually think the content is better than it's been maybe in the whole of 2018. I don't know. Like, I'm having fun. We're popping jokes. We're having a great time. I'm playing quite well in some games. Comparing especially to a few months ago that I was not enjoying myself in League, and I think that was noticeable. And, the views did take a hit because of my, attitude. And, it never turned to toxicity, but I was just generally just not enjoying playing League. And that's obviously going to show in the commentaries a few months ago, where hopefully it's the opposite. Hopefully you guys, Huzz is having a good time, and the content's having an upbeat theme to them. So what I will say is if you are somebody that, you stopped watching the commentaries a few months ago, but you're watching, and I do know there's an audience that just watches the Q&As and the league discussions, maybe it's time to give those commentaries a try again, or tell your friends, if they stop watching, hey, Huzz is back, kind of being happy and popping jokes, and, throwing likes and comments on those videos to help YouTube kind of promote them as well is always a massive big help, so thank you very much in advance. Second announcement is maybe a week ago, I said I was in the market for a new gaming laptop for a couple reasons. You'll hear the full reasons in the next few days, but I did pick up myself one of these. It's a 2018 Razer Blade. And look how thin it is. It's crazy. So I just announced that I've got it. I'm testing it. We're putting this thing through the ringer, and the unboxing, and obviously, yeah, it looks like this. But the unboxing and review video is actually going to be coming in the next few days on the channel as a second video. So any questions you have about that, and I think some people have asked some about it in, collecting them for the Q&A today. Any questions in that will be in that video. And I will say I've already tested the frames per second in League of Legends, and it's actually incredibly impressive for a laptop, put it that way. So that's that. So let's get into the Q&A. So probably going to go for about, I don't know, half an hour to 40 minutes. Depends how much momentum we get, I guess, and how my throat kind of, holds up. The three places that we're collecting them from today is Discord, Twitter, and the community tab on YouTube. A lot of people may not know, but if you go on, youtube.com/HuzzyGames, where there's all the tabs, home, about, etc., there is actually now a community tab that's been there for a little over a year, and we do stuff there occasionally, collect questions, ask questions, do polls and stuff, so make sure you check that out, because it is also a valuable place that you can kind of give feedback to the channel. So let's actually start there on the community tab for today. So the first question, and again, I don't edit these, so sometimes there's a delay of me reading the questions and seeing, if it's a good question or not, is someone is asking, would you say that over the years of playing League, have I grown to enjoy it more or dislike it more? What's my feeling? Well, now I'm actually enjoying League a lot. If you asked me a few months ago, I would have said the complete opposite. I've always said, and what I was saying back then is that if you wanted to give it in a percentage of, 0%, you're a Dota 2 player and you hate League of Legends, right? As a joke. 100% League is your favorite game and you'd marry it if you could. I've always been probably at about a 75 to 85% that I've always it's very much enjoyed the game, and it fluctuates in that kind of bracket. Hey, my champions are meta. Oh, 85%, I'm loving the game. Oh, my champions aren't meta. 75%, it's still a good game. Well, a few months ago, I was probably at like the 50%. I was like, oh god, this game. And to be basically, and why it was so kind of a bum for me is like when you're enjoying a game 50% comparing to what you used to, it's like, I don't feel like playing today. But I had to record commentaries. So that's where the problem kind of came, is I was forcing myself myself to play for the YouTube channel. Well, if you ask myself now, how am I enjoying League? I'm probably at an 80% now again. I'm enjoying it. We're climbing. We're building that champion pool that I'm taking time to build it because I'm actually serious about it this time. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, you know. The peak of where I'd say I've always enjoyed League, I've always quoted it, Season 3. Which again, now that I think of it, was it even Season 3? And the reason why I say that, and I've not really thought about it, is, you know, I always thought of Season 3 as one of the highlights of me playing League. True. But it wasn't my highest rating, was it? You know, that was last season. My highest rating ever was Diamond 1 87 LP in Season 7. Before that, it was Diamond 1 50 LP or something, 53 LP in Season 3. So my most successful League season was last season. So it has been of recent years that we've been doing pretty well, and hopefully, if we can keep on the path that we've been going recently in my ranked games, you know, hopefully Diamond 2 is just around the corner after just, you know, a good win streak. And then who knows? And by the way, I still have not been playing with my 100% champ pool. I'm still playing random champions every now and then just to see if they would fit in. But when I am in that place, I'm like, right, this is the champion pool. That's it. That's all we're playing. I promise that is all we're going to be playing. And it's probably still going to be a bigger champion pool than I'd even recommend. It's probably going to be 5 champions per role. But that's it. Those are the champs. So, and also, what I need to do, if I do want to start climbing, and I think I'm going to do it today, is I need to play in my off days. Like, today is my day off. I'm still recording this, but I'm probably going to play some solo queue after I record this Q&A. Not record, don't do a commentary, and if any good, like, the way that I've got to think, because I'll be honest with you guys, the way that I think is whenever I play League and I'm not recording, I kind of feel like I'm wasting it, right? Because it's like, I'm a YouTuber that does League content, I'm playing League without recording. Like, what am I doing? But what I have to kind of start programming into my head is you guys seem to enjoy the post-game commentaries. Not as much as the live commentaries, but as a second video of the day, they're perfect for that. So what I've got to start doing is playing League just for me, not recording. And hell, maybe record just the gameplay and I could do a commentary over live gameplay instead of a replay. But just don't record, don't stream, just play. And then if it is a good game, then yeah, do a post-game commentary of it so it doesn't go completely to waste. So that's what I'm probably going to start doing. And, you know, I probably will start that today. But yeah, no, my enjoyment of League is back up there to where it kind of has been at its peak. So that's good. So yeah, thanks very much. Someone's saying, how much money have I spent on League? Oh god, I think the last time we looked this up was about a year ago, and if we added all my accounts together, it was over, I think, £5,000, where that number would have definitely gone up, and not as quick as it used to. I spent, like, back in, like, Season 3 to Season 6 is when I'd probably say I spent a lot of money, and probably the majority of that money. Well, now, you know, the only money that I actually spend on League mainly is when I'm doing those loot videos, and obviously we do recoup the cost in those more or less. So, and I will say that, you know, even though that's a very large number that I say to you guys, you know, £5,000 at least is like $8,000 or something. That's like 7,000 euros or whatever. A lot of people go, that is crazy. True, but I am a YouTuber. So it's not like I'm just a League player and, you know, none of that money I've seen back. I've seen that money back, you know, tenfold. You know, it's an expense that I actually, if I really, I never really have, but I actually could put down Riot points as a business expense. I never have, but I could. So it's different for me to you because, you know, it's even when you're looking at view numbers when it comes to commentary and for thumbnails and stuff, thumbnails that have skins and you're using a skin in game do better than base skins. So if you really want to get into the nitty gritty, skins do help YouTubers out. But yeah, there you go. Someone's saying, what do I think about other MOBAs? Yeah, I've played pretty much all of them. It's rare to find a MOBA that I've not played, and that does include Dota 2. I have played it. League to me is just the best one that combines like a hardcore atmosphere with a casual atmosphere. Like, it's both at the same time, which is very hard to do. Like, Heroes of the Storm to me is really casual, and Dota 2 is a little bit too hardcore. And, you know, I'm not saying, you know, this isn't talking much about skill, because examples have shown that the skill of these games, they do translate a bit, but not always. You know, there was this prime example that again, the Dota 2 community, if you're part of it, great, top bombing. I just want people to have fun in their games, but they are notorious for hating League of Legends and the League of Legends community. Where I've always seen it that the League community doesn't really care about the Dota community, and it's probably because, you know, the bigger game kind of aspect to it. We don't care about others in you know, the same genre. But there was this about a year or two ago. There was this really cocky, high-rating Dota player that was like, League is so easy, I'm going to quit Dota, I'm going to go and play League, and I'm going to get Challenger and really easy and show you guys how easy League is. Yeah, he got stuck in gold in like 1,000 games of ranked. It was like, well, there you go. So, yeah, like, some of the skill does translate, but not all of it. They're not the same game. So I have played others, and I think, like, the best thing you can go for is you just take the core fundamentals of each game and you just go with it. You like, if you like dark, gritty gameplay and they're like a night and day cycle, then Dota 2 is for you. And, you know, like that really slow turning of the characters. Like, I never could get that, man. I just don't like that mechanic. So if you like that mechanic, then Dota 2 is for you. If you love playing with your friends and you only play a MOBA with your friends, then I'd actually probably say Heroes of the Storm is the best MOBA for you. It's probably better than League in that aspect. Where League is the best of both worlds. It's the best of every box. Like, it may not be the best in every box, but it's probably second at least in every box, and that's why it's so good. That's what World of Warcraft is, right? It sometimes other MMOs beat Warcraft in some areas, like Guild Wars 2 has better graphics, but then WoW is just consistent in like every area, and that's what League is. It's consistent in every single area. So that's probably why League is the biggest and the one I prefer the most. And, you know, I've played Smite and stuff and all that, but, you know, I've always said it. Play the game you want. I don't really care, as long as, you know, you're just being a good person to it. So, yeah. All right, someone's saying, how much does pride affect toxic players in League? And why do I think so much of the League community is in low ELO? Pride probably is a factor when it comes to toxicity, because a lot of toxic people, they have the image of, I am better than the people I'm with, therefore I have the right, or, you know, to flame these people, or I'm flaming them because they're so bad. When in, again, reality, and I have no evidence to back this up, but whenever I've watched people who are actually toxic, they're no better. A lot of the time they are the worst in the game, but they focus on the wrong part of the game. You know, a lot of toxic people, they very much focus on KD, kills and deaths. That isn't the important thing, because killing the Nexus is. But if they have a good KD, they have, like, in their head, oh, I'm 5-0, my bot lane is 0-2, I can flame that person. But in reality, they're just doing different things, and they're focusing on the wrong thing. And then as for why is the majority of the League of Legends community low rating, if you would actually want to dig into the actual answer of it, it's because Riot sets kind of it up that way. You know, if Riot really wanted to spread the community more and have more people in high rating, they could do that with, like, adjusting the MMR tweaks, letting it being a little bit more, you know, having a bit more leeway so you don't lose as much as quick. So they could do it, but Riot, I've always found, you know, it partially because it could be why that, you know, League has, let's say, an elitist community, is that maybe Riot sets it up to be that way of, oh, you know, there's Diamond, Challenger, and Master. The top 3 ratings in the game is still within only the top 1%. Where, you know, if you take Bronze, Silver, and Gold, another 3 rating brand, that's 50% of the game. Like, I think Riot themselves want their high rating to be prestigious, to be within a very small percentage, because it kind of feels better when you achieve it. Obviously, things will be changing pretty soon. I think I can say, because I think he said himself, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, Riot is officially coming out and saying the new tier names. So if you don't know, next season, they are coming out with 2 brand new tiers. If my memory serves correct, or am I allowed to say, it could be, one might be below Diamond, and one might be above Silver or something, or above Bronze. And they're coming out with 2 new tiers. The reason for it is to just kind of have that spread a little bit more, because there are big differences within the community. The difference between low bronze and even high bronze is crazy. Like, it's huge. So what they're going to do is bronze is going to be, like, again, whatever way they do it, let's say the lowest rating of the game is going to be probably right now the bronze 5 and the bronze 4. That's probably going to be what bronze turns into next season, so you'll stay bronze. Then, but if you're a bronze 3 to bronze 1 player, you'll probably turn into whatever the new rating is. And then a silver player will be just a silver player, a gold player will be a gold player, and it will adjust it a little bit here and there. You'll probably feel it a little bit better that, you know, the people in your games belong there more. And then when it comes to diamond, again, the difference between diamond 5 and diamond 1 is night and day, so they're going to split up diamond as well. So if you're a diamond 5 player, you won't be diamond anymore, you'll be the rating below diamond. And maybe even diamond 4, but if you're a diamond 3 to diamond 1 player, you'll stay in diamond. And then they'll still be master and challenger, which I think is a very good idea. What they're also doing, and again, if you haven't heard, instead of there being 5 divisions, whatever it is, per rating, so there's bronze 5 to 1, that's going away because they're adding 2 new tiers. There is only 4 per rating now. So there'll be bronze 4 will be the lowest rating, and then bronze 1 will be the highest rating. So it's just kind of tweaking it a bit, and I think that is actually very, very healthy, and I'm very happy they're doing it. So when it comes to, you know, the majority of the league community being low rating, that isn't probably going to change just because they're changing how the ranking is working a little bit next season. But the answer, I think, is because Riot and the community in itself want the top ratings to kind of feel prestigious. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's a good thing. And obviously, I do probably have a personal bias because I am in that top 1%. And it feels good to be there. So, yeah. All right, so next game. Have I heard that there might be a possibility of a MMO set in the LoL universe? I have, and I might know more about it. There's no confirmation that it's happening. Okay, without just, you know, do I think it's going to happen? No, probably not. I don't think, again, we do know, by the way, and this isn't confidential information, they are making another game. We do know that. I don't think it's an MMO. I think it could be a, like, fighting game. And the reason why is because people don't know, but 2 years ago, there was this big robot fighting game that was kind of getting traction. Yeah, Riot Games bought that company and they took down the game. So why would they do that? So I kind of think it could be like a Street Fighter for League of Legends, that, you know, the champions of League are the characters in the game, and it's just a side scroller one, potentially. The problem with that is that that market definitely has a capped out market. You know, it's a very, you know, stuck in their ways market already, that, you know, they've got the Street Fighters, Mortal Kombats and that. It's very hard to break into that, you know, easily. So, who knows? There could be an MMO. I just don't think it'll be Riot's second game. Like, they've done a MOBA, which was a relatively brand new genre. When League came out, it was a newish type of thing. So they were at the beginning of that genre, or relatively. I don't know if their second game, to put the S in Riot Games, would be an MMO. That's a very risky thing to do, because if you don't know, MMOs a lot of the time with their development costs, because they don't have a crazy, you know, buyout scheme straight away, a lot of the time they're a little bit cheaper to get into initially and then have a subscription to kind of build up the cost, so they make a lot more money. They operate at a loss for at least the first few months. So if one of those goes wrong, they lose all the money for that game. And obviously the thing that Riot has going for it, it's not completely new, because all the League players, they could incentivize those to go play the MMO. But I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do that. It would be cool. I definitely would play in it, but yeah, not sure. All right, so let's jump over to Twitter. I just answer a couple there, and then we'll jump on the Discord server where people have left a bunch too. So the first one here is it considered boosting if you duoed with the Diamond player on his Smurf account, but I didn't know he was Diamond? Yeah. Like, to me, yes, but everybody's got a different definition of boosting, right? So the official definition is different to my definition, so a lot of people don't care about my definition, which is fine. My definition is more of a morale definition, but the official definition of boosting is basically paying for the service. That if you're paying somebody to play with you or play on your account, then that is what is considered boosting on Riot size, and that is bannable. My definition of boosting is using another person, whether it be, you know, them playing on your account or duo queuing with you on a Smurf or something, using another person to get to a rating that you yourself would normally not get to. That is my definition. So if you're a silver player and you've always been silver, but you start duo queuing with that friend who's on a, he's on a Smurf, and you get gold, it's like, oh, I got gold first time ever. We duo queued, you got boosted there. Like that. That's just my cutthroat definition of it. On Twitter, I don't know who the guy was. I just saw it like Foxdrop or someone or Fi liked his tweet. He's a support main, I think, and he just hit Challenger in EU West for the first time as a solo queue player. And in his tweet, he said, it feels so much more gratifying that I did this by myself without duo queuing, because when I ever duo queued, there was always the background of, could I actually do it by myself? And he said, it feels so much more satisfying than now he did it by himself. So to me, it's boosting. Of my definition, but it's up to you. You're not going to get banned for doing that. But do you deserve it or not? Do you think you could have actually got it? Those are the questions that I think is important for me. And that's why I never duo. Especially as a YouTuber, it's why I never duo. I like Red. We've had good conversations over the past, but one of the biggest conversations that people have about Red Mercy is when he got that master rating of, he had a climb to master series as well. He finally got master. He duoed a lot of it. So a lot of his audience are like, yeah, he got it, which is amazing. Well done, Red. But you did duo like a lot of those games to get at least to the promotion series of master. I think he may have done the promotion series itself by himself, but he definitely duoed to get there. And it's like, it just doesn't feel the same. It's not the same oomph to it. To me anyway. So that's why I never duo. And also I just prefer solo. Next thing, is there any way to make LCS more exciting? I get why teams don't take big risks in matches, but do you think there can be a good middle ground? The reason why you don't see risks nowadays is because it's an actual job. I was actually going to make a League discussion topic about this. So back when League was the most exciting in pros, in my opinion, was season 1 to 3. And the reason why is because it wasn't really a job back then, and it was not a promise. They didn't make much money. Hell, I make more money now, probably more than double, than those guys made in season 1 to 3 as a pro League player. So it wasn't a promise. So they just played their heart out. They just didn't care. There was nothing to lose because they weren't gaining much. So they just played that there was nothing to risk. Well, now, when they're on contracts that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, they don't want to lose that contract. Like, that's their job, that's their income, and, a lot of these guys are giving up their education to be pro players, so if they get dropped out, by playing bad or taking too many risks, their whole, early life is just going to go, oh god, what do I do now? So that's why they don't take much risks, is because they are pro gamers. So that's my opinion on it. So how do you do it? You probably, as organizations, you probably say to your players, we're going to sign you, go for those risks, and we're going to sign you for, have a 3-year contract, and if we want to let you go, there's a buyout clause that we have to pay you that whole 3-year contract, so at least, that you're rich coming out at the end of it if you get fired. Then they'll start playing their heart out, but the vast majority of these players in these orgs have a 1-season contract. That's it. So if they have those risky play bad moments, risking too much and making it exciting, they just get dropped. Goodbye. See you later. That's what I'd say. So it's nothing we can do. It's up to the organizations and the pros. So yeah. Right. Let's jump on the Discord server. And then we will be done pretty much for the day. But there's a bunch here on the Discord server, so we definitely have quite a bit to go. Do you plan to play some of the same champs you're good at to climb higher? Yes, that is the point that we're doing at the moment, to make a champion pool. Again, I'd actually say right now, I'm pretty hyped for my own, I know this sounds weird, but my own mid lane champion pool. I think it's really solid that of the champions that I'm playing there, I very rarely feed, and if I'm not having a good game, a lot of the time I have a big impact on. So I think those, especially 4 of Anivia, Malzahar, Vladimir, and Xerath, I think that's a very solid champion pool for me personally, and that might, just those 4 champions, if I just spam those 4, those could be the things that kind of help me get to a, back up there, So I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah, and again, we're still not in that. You know, a lot of people go, we haven't seen Xerath in ages. The reason why you haven't seen Xerath in ages is because, as I've mentioned, I'm still in the creation phase of the champion pool. When I'm in that completed phase, I'm like, right, guys, buckle in for the next month of HuzzyGames. We're only playing the same, 10 champions over and over again. You'll be seeing a lot of Xerath. So don't worry, like, that's why I've kind of held off it. Right now you're seeing more Malzahar, and maybe when I'm actually doing it, I'll play less Malz and more Xerath. So, yeah. How do I feel about Akali? Do I think her kit is too strong? Because you got a lot of reaction for her Shroud is too strong. Yes, it is. Since there is not really a counterplay. Yeah, I think she's too strong. It's a certainly T champion, so that's not a surprise. I just think it's a really dumb mechanic. The reason why I think it's a dumb mechanic is because 6 months ago to a year ago, they fixed stealth in League of Legends, and they kind of separated it into two categories and made it kind of, very, this is what it is. And then they release a brand new Akali that completely ignores all of that, stuff that they did a year ago, whatever. It's like, what? Like, why did you just ignore what you guys just did about stealth? So that, to me, is just straight up like, that was dumb. But if you go, like, I do think her strongest point, obviously, she can one-shot people, but I don't think that's her biggest problem. I think it is because she can one-shot people and then have a true stealth. So then you literally cannot do anything about it. You're like, oh, where did she go? Like, you don't know. It's a true stealth, even under towers. So I think they need to get rid of that. Like, if they make her vulnerable under towers with the Shroud, I think she instantly gets better. Or, like, just make it a little bit different how it works. And I think that will probably be fine. So, yeah. Next one is, what guides your decision on which roles you main? Is it enjoyment or performance? Both. It should be both. I don't think ever your decisions in League should just go off performance because it's a video game. If this was your job and you're a pro gamer already, then yeah, it should be going off performance, but it's not. The average person watching this video, listening to my advice, is going to be in the bronze to gold category. Just focus on, like, mainly enjoyment. And why I say you can focus a little bit on performance is because a lot of people have fun when they're playing well. A lot of people have fun when they're climbing. So mix your enjoyment with the performance, and that's probably the healthiest duo you're going to get. Like, my example is Zoe, again, very abusable champion. A lot of people got rating with her. I'm not playing her because I don't want to. I'll play something else that I'm good at and I enjoy. Xerath, for example. So, yeah, it's something that you just need to do personally. If there was one champion you could pick and personally rework, which would it be? So I know I could very easily meme this and kind of go like, oh, Teemo to get rid of blah, blah, blah. If we actually answered seriously of a champion that I don't think is like, well, obviously there's the again, if we ignore the obvious ones, Zoe and Akali, then, okay, ignore those. Of a champion that I'd say is kind of not spoken about a lot, which would that's what I'll answer. A champion that's not spoken too much about. Again, a lot of champs are getting reworks, or at least they're getting kind of new versions of their champions, so you kind of forget about the old version, which is a problem that Riot does all the time. Instead of reworking champions, they just release a better version of an old one as a new champ. Again, obvious answer would be the basic ones, Garen, Master Yi, and Demir. I just don't think they're incredibly good for the game. But I do know that some people need them, that, they might be terrible mechanically, so they only can play those, so that's why they play them, and they can still get high rating. So maybe, you gotta maybe leave those in there. Possibly Volibear? Like, I think he could be a really cool champion. He actually does have a little bit of strength to him to this day, but I think he's just very outdated for League of Legends. So potentially Volibear is the answer I will give. Where would I like to travel? Asia is my next big destination I want to go to. Tokyo and Japan being the highest, and, Kyoto as well in Japan. South Korea too. That's definitely a place, South Korea being like the most technologically advanced place on Earth nowadays. I've heard the food is amazing there. Obviously, the League of Legends culture is very big. I don't even know if we've got any South Koreans really that watch the channel. I guess I could check the metrics of my YouTube stats, but who knows? If you're South Korean, hello. But yeah, like South Korea would be kind of cool too. Next one is someone saying, I'm having a hard time studying in university. You're a software engineering student. I know that you have a degree in game design. I do. Would you recommend me to continue study or drop out of uni? I genuinely want to know your opinion. So my actual opinion would be don't listen to a random person on the internet. Listen to people, listen to yourself, listen to people that are around you that actually know your actual situation, because I don't know your full situation. I will answer the question though, but I will say this, take it with a grain of salt. Don't take this as a final answer. This is something that you need to personally decide on. But what I'd say, again, if you're saying, like, Huzzy, what is your opinion? I value education very highly. You know, I've got a degree, I've got a first, which is the highest grade you can get, when I technically don't need it. You know, I'm a YouTuber, and if I wasn't a YouTuber, I'd be maybe doing my pilot stuff already, and they don't even need a degree. So I went to university just to further my own education and further my kind of understanding about things, and just to have it, because I think it's valuable just to have the piece of paper itself saying you have a degree. The reason for it, and again, if you're saying you're a software engineering student, and if that's what you kind of want to get into in later life, in the tech world especially, what I'd say a degree is, it's a key. It's a key that can be used multiple times. The first time you get to use the key is when you're applying to jobs. When you're applying to jobs, you'll see a lot of them being, you know, a degree is required to even apply for this job. So that's one instance of a degree being very handy. And again, that's just a general degree. You could do, like, I don't know how long you've been studying for, but let's say you're in your last year, finish the degree, and then you've got that piece of paper. And a lot of the time, these companies, when they're looking for people, they don't specify unless it's a very specific industry. They just want a degree, because what a degree shows is you can work to that level, you can study to that level, therefore work to that level. So you could have a software engineering degree, but go work in a completely different industry, but at least you've got that piece of paper. The second time it can be used as a key is, let's say, and again, by the way, I'm saying averages here. I'm sure there'll people be out there going, I don't have a degree and I still do really well for myself. There's obviously, you know, exceptions to the rule. I'm going off averages. Is when you're within a company, the second time that your degree can be used as a key is further promotion. A lot of companies promote within, or they promote people who are qualified, but also requiring a degree. If you don't have a degree, a lot of the time you get capped of where you can kind of be at a company, and that, you know, kind of sucks. You know, even within the military, I could be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure if you have a degree and you join the military, you start at a higher rank and a higher kind of wage and everything straight away to somebody that doesn't. It might be like, you know, an officer position to a basic position if you just have a degree. So I personally think it's definitely worth it. You know, if I had a company, which I technically do, if I was hiring somebody within the HuzzyGames organization, 100% I'd hire someone with a degree only. Because why wouldn't you? That's the third point, is why wouldn't employers hire people with degrees? Because it's showing higher commitment to education and to work when so many people have degrees. So you may as well go for somebody with a degree. You know, my sister's got a pretty good job, but when she was looking for jobs, she was like kind of laughing at how many of these kind of basic jobs nowadays that never, you know, 10, 20 years ago, never would need a degree. Now they require a degree because the employers are like, hey, let's just get someone with a degree. Why not? They might be better, who knows, at the job. So my advice to it is, probably stick to it, you know, and again, but it's a personal thing. If you really can't take it, then that's up to you, my friend. So yeah. All right, next one. Gonna only do a couple more here and there. So next one is, who is your role model right now, and who was it during my childhood? Oh god, that's a deep question. My role model. I don't really have one. I used to have one. Well, I've had a few over the years. Like Tiger Woods was a big one of mine. Again, my family is a golfing family. We've got several ex-professionals in our family, international golfers and stuff too. So I grew up a lot on golf courses, going to tournaments, watching tournaments. My dad also used to coach a few tour pros. So I've been within that world. And when you watch Tiger Woods kind of overcome what he had to, even within just society, thinking of, like, you know, oh, who's this guy, and doing as well as he did. And obviously, yeah, he's got personal problems and, you know, a lot of issues, but he's just kind of, he made, even though I'd say this, I don't follow golf to this day. It's not my sport, it's my family's sport, but I respect it. He changed golf to what it is today. It was never a mainstream sport. It was kind of always seen as an arty-farty old man sport, but Tiger Woods modernized it. He made it kind of exciting, and that to me is like respect worthy right there. So he was one. And man, like, again, role model is a strong word, because again, you're modeling yourself technically after them. I don't really model myself after anybody, or I try not to. I just be me. You know, it's that I try to just be the best version of me. Sometimes I come up short. Sometimes I'm pleased with myself and what I do. But that's basically it. Is I just be me. And I'm sure that there are, qualities that I have that I've taken from different places, being influenced by them. But that's not on purpose. That's like just subconsciously, I'll take that, I'll take this, and that's how you build your character. So, yeah, I don't really think I've got one. I also, obviously, just the basic one, my dad. My dad, was a pro at a sport, then he changed industry, then he went crazy well in an industry. We had a point in life that we were very like rock bottom, and he built our way out of it. So my dad, obviously, there is a bit there too. So yeah, like that's a deep question. And then if we go on to finally a couple more here and there, let's just quickly check the YouTube community page one more time, which we actually had a bunch more questions. Holy moly. Do I think Riot should have a way for regular players to suggest skin ideas? They kind of do. There has definitely been, and again, I'm sure there's like a Reddit thread about it or something. There's definitely been key skins in League that have been influenced by players over the past. Dragon Slayer Swain, that was a player idea. A bunch of them have been, and a lot of the time, you could say that, right, it's cheaping out here, but what happens if the player who suggested it or built the concept to it gets recognized and going, hey, you kind of gave the idea to Riot, they're at least given the skin for free in-game. Like, that's what Riot does to the person. It's like, okay, you made Dragon, like, whatever, Swain, okay, you can have it in-game. And from memory, when that one happened, the guy actually came out the woodwork and go, I don't play League anymore, so... but it'll be kind of cool. Like, they actually do a art competition, I think at least once a year of that, and I'm sure they get a bunch of ideas from that too. So, yeah. Someone saying, have I ever experienced confidence issues? All the time, man. All the time. What advice would I give? Yeah, no, all the time. It's something that I am still battling to this day, that I am actually naturally a very confident person. I am somebody that can just go up on a stage and just talk to hundreds of people, and that doesn't affect me. What does affect me is the build-up to it, right? Is that when I'm doing the thing that I'd be nervous about, I'm in my element. That, whether I'm on a Twitch stage at an Insomnia, or I used to be a football captain where I'm giving the year's speech of how the football team went. Or a debate team that we've got an audience watching a debate, and if you muck up, you look like a fool. When I'm doing it, I'm in my element, and I'm the same as my dad. That I get very oh my god, my heart goes. Sometimes I throw up before something, but the moment I'm doing it, I'm in. And I will say that there's a thing that is upcoming that I've been hinting at, here and there, that it does involve traveling, and I'm nervous about it nearly every day. That if it does work out, we're in talks at the moment. If it does work out and I agree to it, and every condition just says a tick next to it, dude, the week up to that, I'm gonna be an absolute mess. But I'm sure when I'm there, I will love it. Like, it's probably gonna be one of my favorite things I've ever done. And sorry, I have to be a little bit cryptic. I'm sure that there will be a couple of people out there that can kind of guess what it could be. And I'm not hyping. It's not the most crazy thing in the world, but all the time. And the answer to it is you just got to push through it. You just got to do it. And a lot of the time when you're nervous about something, as I mentioned, when you're actually in it, you're fine. So, and I will say, that is me, who is naturally a confident person. So this is where, if you're not a naturally confident person, I do feel for you, because if I feel that way, then yeah, it must be really tough. But there hasn't really been any issues that I've ever stopped because of it. So this is where, again, I don't know if I can give advice in that respect. I've been nervous, I've thrown up on things, but it's never made me stop. I've always done it, and then I've been fine. It's just been nervous up to it. But I'm sure there's people out there that have stopped doing things because of their nerves. I haven't done that, really. Like, maybe here and there, but not mainly. But yeah, just push through it. Like, again, like I said, if you can just get through that, you know, initial bad time when you're doing the thing you've been nervous about or not confident about, a lot of the time then you're in it. So you have to, like, your brain, you know, your thought process of being nervous just can't be in the forefront anymore because you're actually busy doing the thing you were nervous about. So, yeah. All right, so next thing, a couple more questions. Hey Huzzy, how is the relationship hunt going, if any? It's not. Again, we occasionally get this question. No, it's not really going anywhere. I thought myself, you know, a little while ago that I'd rather fix myself within than look for that type of thing. You know, again, we've lost a bunch of weight recently. I have like kind of halted that just, you know, here and there. I actually am today, funny enough, getting back into it. So hopefully the weight loss will continue. But yeah, I just thought I'd kind of like deal with that myself before I look, you know, and the actual word of looking in that instance to me is really weird because, you know, I don't know, it just feels weird looking for that. But that's just me. Hopefully one day, you know, I've already thought that, you know, when that eventually happens and I meet, you know, the one, I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun and going a lot of traveling. You know, one of the fortunate things about being a YouTuber is freedom. And, you know, I'll probably be the type of guy that kind of goes, hey, we've been going out 3 months. Let's go to Tokyo. So, yeah, like, who knows? One day, but I want to fix me first. Let's get me back in shape and then I'll be happy and more confident. And, yeah. But thanks for the concern, I guess. And then the final one we'll go with is... That might be it, actually. Oh, there we go. Who do I feel is the best champion design and worst champion design? Well, we've already answered like it a little bit. The worst champion design is Zoe. We've mentioned a bunch why. And the best champion design, I've always quoted it as like Orianna because there's never any issues with Orianna and she's always in a relative strong place in League of Legends. So potentially Orianna. Others, Anivia, pretty damn good. Again, it's fun. It's funny because two sides of the coin. Zoe, I'd say, is one of the worst champion designs in the game, but the new Warwick is probably one of the best, and that's done by the same designer. So potentially Warwick. So yeah, it's a hard it's hard making that. And actually, I just saw an interesting question that, you know, I did say I want to end the video, but it's an interesting one to end on. What do I think about Riot making champions that are good in pro play unplayable for solo queue by nerfing them to oblivion? For example, incoming Sejuani nerfs. They have to. It's that simple. League of Legends will be and always should be, and this is where my game design degree, I guess, kicks in, a game that is designed from the top down. Some games differ, and some games can design from the bottom up. And what that means is if you're designing a game for the bottom up, you're designing it for the casual, not the hardcore. League of Legends can't do that because it's driven by the hardcore. So they have to design it for the top to the bottom. So they design it for pro play and like challenger solo queue. And then they, you know, that trickles down and gets less effective for, you know, bronze. A big instance of this, or casual, big instance of this is the Azir one, right? Is that so many people, especially low rating people, use win rates. They use it in the wrong way, but whatever. They use win rates to determine if a champion is strong or not. And Azir in solo queue had a 44% win rate, even in platinum. In platinum rating, which is in the top 10% of the game, it had a 44% win rate, so a bad win rate, and Riot still nerfed that champion because of pro play. It was too strong in pro play. They have to, because when you think of the driving force of League, of how it's getting built and the way they're marketing it, the whole marketing of League is about going up in rating. You want to achieve up. The rewards get better up. So your experience of the game cannot get worse the more up you go. And obviously the biggest up is pro play. So those guys have to have the best experience possible, even if that sacrifices a little bit for solo queue. And it's not a huge amount. I'm sure if you're a Sejuani player, let's be honest, if you're in the average ratings of League, Sejuani will still be completely fine to play. There's been examples of people still achieving Challenger on technically the worst champions in the game if you did go off win rate. So it doesn't really affect it too badly. But I know on the outside of it's like, God, they're just really focusing pro play. It's because they have to. It's the type of game League is. So that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. We did go quite long, but I was enjoying it. Answering questions is something that I like doing. Again, I'm feeling a little bit rough. And I think it's just a perfect thing to do as the second video of the day. So if you guys did enjoy, throw a like on it. If you've got any more questions that I didn't answer, put them down below and embed later on the Razor Blade. I can answer them and chat with you guys and stuff like that. And also, if you ever need to contact me, for whatever reason, ask a question, say hello. Best places to do that, honestly, the best place is probably Snapchat because it's on my phone. It just comes as a notification. So Snapchat is probably the best. Then it's probably Twitter, and then it's probably Discord. So those three, and then obviously then probably the YouTube comment section. But yeah, that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, throw a like on it, subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you guys next time. See ya.